Number 5. In the spring of 2015, 18-year-old Jonathan was applying for college when he realized his name did not match his social security number. As it turned out, Jonathan was really Julian Hernandez. In 2002, Julian's father, Bobby, told his wife that he would take 5-year-old Julian to school. Instead, Bobby drained his bank account and fled with Julian. The police searched for him. Missing posters were made, but Julian and Bobby couldn't be found. Julian grew up never knowing that he had been kidnapped. His father was arrested, and Julian flew to see his mother for the first time in 13 years. Number 4. Sanbin was raised in a home in Jiangsu province in China, and he always thought he was adopted. In 2014, when San was 27, he decided to give some of his DNA to the local police station to see if they could give him any information on his biological family. A short time later, he received a phone call. It turns out that in 1991, when San was just 4, he was kidnapped from a vegetable market in the Sichuan province, thousands of miles from Jiangsu. The perpetrators were human traffickers who sold San to his adopted family. San's biological parents had looked for him for years, but they couldn't find him. San and his father met after 24 years apart at a police station in central China. Number 3. Angela Palmer was born in 1960s Germany. According to her father, Angela's mother abandoned her at an orphanage. Then he supposedly picked her up and raised Angela on his own. He was an abusive alcoholic. There was one time when Angela heard from her mother, and that was a phone call on her 16th birthday. The woman tried to explain why she wasn't in Angela's life, but Angela hung up because she was angry that her mother abandoned her. In 2013, Angela was 44 and living in California. She got a Facebook friend request from a woman named Helga. Then Helga sent Angela a message, written in German, asking about her childhood. She even produced a copy of Angela's birth certificate and all family photos as evidence. Helga also said that she didn't abandon Angela. Instead, Angela was kidnapped by her father, and Helga was unable to rescue her child. Number 2. In February 2004, 17-year-old Orey Steinmann and some friends decided to do a Google search using Orey's name. The first result that came up was a website for missing children. That's when Orey found out that he was actually kidnapped and taken away from his father in Canada. In May 1989, Orey's mother lost custody of Orey to her former boyfriend. Instead of handing him over, she fled. She was arrested in February 2004 after a teacher Orey had confided in went to the police. Number 1. In 1982, government troops descended on the village and killed 250 men, women and children. Only 2 boys survived, and one of them was 3-year-old Oscar. He was abducted by one of the lieutenants who led the raid. The lieutenant took him home to raise as his own. The lieutenant would end up dying in a traffic accident, so Oscar was raised by the man's mother. Oscar described his home as a loving household, and he was raised to revere the man he thought was his father. Once the prosecutor sent him a mail in which he explained that the man who he thought was his father was actually his kidnapper. The prosecutor explained that his village had been massacred, and he was one of 2 survivors who were in the village at the time. She also said that there was another survivor who was away from the village when the massacre happened. The man was Oscar's father, and he was still alive. Oscar was stunned. The father and son reunited after 30 years apart. So tell me, what story do you like more? Write your thoughts in comments below. Bye bye!